Hi, I'm Carl Williams. I realized I needed something when I was ready to take my own life. So I'd recently retired. I was ready to spend my life with my wife, and she decided that was it. She was cashing out. So it crushed me. It pulled the rug from under my feet.
Hi, I'm Sharon Hodson. When my husband died, it was probably the darkest time ever. And I mean, I've been through a lot of ups and downs in 51 years, but that particular time was a time where my world was shattered.
So I'm Renita Troyer. So my ex-husband and I, we didn't go to church at all. We had left church and didn't go to church for probably a year and a half. But COVID had happened, and so churches were closed up, right? That's kind of where just our marriage started falling apart. And it was even before that I kind of was unaware of it. Had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. I felt like, honestly, how I imagine a person that survived an earthquake, how that person felt, coming out of the wreckage. You're wounded and painful, everything was painful, and you're trying to gather everything up. And
my name is Billy Pierce. Yeah, I mean, before I met Christ, I grew up in church, so I knew about Jesus my whole life, sang songs about Jesus and everything. I could have told you the gospel, verbatim my whole life, or for a lot of my life. I kind of just went my own way, pursued my own things, all still while putting on this face of yeah, I'm a Christian, and I tried to look good for my parents, look good for my church, because I didn't want anyone to know that I actually didn't really care about this kind of stuff. I didn't really, I was yeah, I think God is real, but he wasn't the most important thing in my life or anything, and so that led me down some dark paths. I got into pornography when I was pretty young, probably 5th grade, I want to say, and delved into that pretty deeply. My whole life I'd been struggling with a whole addiction to pornography I was dealing with, and I just kept wanting to not do it because I felt like God was angry at me for it or something. And so there were definitely dark moments during that whole time.
I needed to do something because whatever I did didn't work, and the only answer was the Bible sitting there on the end table. And I picked it up and I found my answer. I realized that I need to come to Christ because I couldn't fix things anymore.
Through my whole walk with him, trust was the biggest thing that he had always impressed upon me, and the importance of, no matter what's going on in your life, and the things that you don't understand, and the things that are unknown, a lot of scary unknowns, you can always trust me. I'm always there for you. I'm the constant. I'm the thing that will not change.
it was more seeing God's faithfulness, providing for me financially. I was a stay-at-home mom, being provided for miraculously, that could have only been from God.
But God helped me to overcome that and focus on his gain more than my loss. The comfort, the peace, the grace, all the things that you hear about, but they became so real in my life.
There was a moment when I was like, I don't want my son to be like this. I don't want to be I want to be a dad who's following Jesus and not half-heartedly here and there or whatever, or just in name, just in face or whatever. And so I had to confess it to Courtney, and it broke her heart, and I didn't know if we would make it. I've been a part of this group, this men's group, and for a long time we met every week. We were down to maybe once a month or so now, but all of us in that group, myself included, have grown so much. It's been almost 3 years now since that time I confessed to Courtney till now. It's almost not even been a temptation, and that's I never even thought that was possible.
If just for a second you can feel the joy and peace I have, there's nothing else. And the knowing that Jesus is real, I know it. There's no doubt to me.
Anybody out there who doesn't have the peace or the assurance of what's going to happen tomorrow or this or that. You can't count on anything but the Lord. You can't.
It was more like, yeah, he became the only person that, you know, I had all the time.
But when I confessed that sin and was around a group of guys who were in the same place or in different ways in the same place, and like experiencing the love of God through them and their forgiveness and learning what that looks like that's changed my life.